Hello, my name is Arish Vajpayee Jilla and I'm going to be discussing my personal project which I've worked on throughout the year. My personal project can be split up into a few parts. My learning outcomes, my goals, my global context, my inquired questions, and the process with which I conducted my personal project. This would be from finding areas of interest to creating designs for my product to finally designing the product. My learning goals were set at the beginning of my personal project and I wished to achieve them, and did achieve them, by the end of my personal project. These goals were enhancing my knowledge of economics and enhancing my knowledge of computer science. To ensure that these goals were directly correlated to my personal interest and they were something which I wished to learn more about, I created a chart with which I saw different areas of interest that I had and different plausible products which had come out from each. Then, interest, feasibility, and originality was graded on each of them. Finally, I came to the conclusion that my learning goals would revolve around economics and computer science. My inquiry question was used to direct and focus my personal project. It was, how has the implementation of computer scientific laws in the field of economics allowed for economics to be taught to younger generations? This inquiry question was used as it perfectly encapsulated the few key points I wanted to be present in my personal project, such as the direct correlation of computer science and economics, and the fact that I wish to aid younger generations with their studies, especially economics. The product which was decided upon was a GDP calculator, as a GDP calculator could be used as a learning tool for students who were learning GDP. With my learning goals in mind, and my inquiry question, along with my product, my goal was formed. My goal was to further enhance my knowledge of computer science and economics by creating a gross domestic product calculator as a teaching tool for grade 9 and 10 students. My target audience was grade 9 and 10 students, as GDP is often taught to them during this grade. My personal project was correlated to the global context scientific and technological innovation. On the right, you will see a table which I created looking at the correlation to the different strands of the global context and how they best correlated to my personal project. The strand which best correlated to my personal project was how humans use their understanding of scientific principles. The product itself would use my understanding of computer scientific laws, especially in regards to the programming language C#, and how it would be used to design and manufacture the product. Therefore, this strand best correlates to my product. On the left, an image is visible which displays the computer scientific laws in regards to C#, which I used to create the product. My final product. My final product is as shown above. The first page indicating the home page, the second where the student is able to learn more about GDP, the third and fourth, where they're able to input different values into different categories, such as total investment, total value of all consumed goods, net value of all consumed goods, and government expenditure. With the use of these four categories, GDP could be calculated. Therefore, it would easily teach students what GDP was and how it can be calculated. Through this project, I learned more about myself and my interests. Furthermore, I achieved my learning goals of enhancing my knowledge of computer science and economics. Through the project, I was able to learn more about GDP and the factors relating to it, and I was also able to learn more about the programming language C# and the different laws and codes which can be implemented into it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ayush Bhandari and this is my personal project. My goal was to teach how to solve different Rubik's Cubes to help students improve concentration, become problem solvers, and more focused. Given pandemic situation, I planned to bring technology-based learning in virtual environment. I began by brainstorming my passions and the areas in which I'm interested in. Following that, I came up with multiple areas such as basketball, cubing, and programming. After considering various options, I decided to research more and find out what different ideas can be formed using these interests. The idea of culminating cubing and programming appealed most to me, and I decided to connect that with the current situation of virtual schooling. I researched and conducted a verbal questionnaire for school students to understand whether they face problems such as lack of concentration and focus during virtual schooling. After evaluating all my options, I decided to use my passion for cubing and programming and help my friends and peers in increasing their focus by teaching them how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Solving a cube helps in increasing concentration, improve patience, and make them problem solvers. I started working on my project by first brainstorming on the global context and finding the most suitable one to connect with my project. I later shortlisted personal and cultural expression. Then I conducted a SMART goals research to understand my goal better and to organize myself to reach my goal effectively. Along with this, I created realistic deadlines for my project to help me be organized. Finally, I began learning the Flutter language that was supposed to be used for the development of the mobile application. It took me around 1 month to learn the entire language. While learning the language, I was simultaneously designing the layout of the app and creating steps for each of the Rubik's Cube. When all the requirements of creating the product were complete, I began programming the final app. After programming for a few weeks, I finally completed my app, which you can see here. I tried to make the app as interactive and user-friendly as possible. After completion, I shared the app with a few of my friends for their views and feedback. Throughout this project, I have learned and enhanced various skills including thinking, research, and communication skills. I transferred my skills from digital design and language and literature and made connections between these subject groups and disciplines to accomplish my goal. I developed media and information literacy skills by communicating information and ideas to multiple audiences using a variety of formats and making informed decisions and choices about personal experiences to create my product. Throughout this project, I also developed communication skills and social skills. Whenever I got stuck, I would often visit a Q&A website for programmers and took other programmers' help. This is a poster I created to summarize my personal project, process, and its overview. You may scan the QR code given below for more external details on my project. Thank you for being a great audience. I would really appreciate if you could take out 1 more minute and answer a few questions to help me improve my project. Thank you.
Obesity in teenagers has nowadays become a huge issue. The obesity rate in teenagers is increasing rapidly due to lack of exercise and unhealthy diet. Therefore, I decided to do something to improve teenagers' physical health. I started with creating a mind map of things that I could do and I decided to create a fitness app for teenagers which would help them live a healthier lifestyle. I wanted to do this as the gyms were closed during the pandemic and I did not know how to work out at home without any equipment. So this would help me to work out at home. I already had a little bit of knowledge of how to create apps and workout plans from my ICT and PHE classes. I started with researching about how to make an app and a workout plan. After this, I took a survey between my friends to know about the problems they face while trying to become fit. After getting the result of the survey, I started working on the workout plan. After my app and my workout plan was almost complete, I thought of adding a new feature which would make my app much better. I thought of adding audio to my app which would tell the user which exercise to do, the number of sets and repetitions, and also tell when to rest. This feature would make it much easier for the user to work out as he or she would be able to focus more on the workout and would not have to check which exercise is next. Due to this, I had to make a few changes in my app, but at the end, I was able to add this feature to my app. My project is related to the third SDG, which is good health and well-being, as my goal is to encourage teenagers to focus on their health and work out so that they could have a healthier lifestyle. Throughout this project, I used and developed many skills, but the two main skills were research skills and thinking skills, as I had to do a lot of research during this project about various things such as which website to use, how to create an app, how to add audio to your app, and many more things. I also had to think of ideas such as adding audio to my app instead of text so that the user can focus more on the workout. During this project, I mainly used three learner profiles: communicator, as I had to communicate with my peers to know about the problems they face while trying to become fit; knowledgeable, as I had to learn how to code so that I could make my app; thinker, because I had to think of ideas which would attract more users towards my app and would make it easier to work out for them.
My personal project is about writing a guidebook for all cyclists, beginners and pros, majorly all enthusiasts. The guidebook has information on everything a cyclist needs to know, from the cycles, the gear required, the essential rules, benefits, and safety. The project holds a lot of importance to me as I am also an enthusiast and a regular cyclist. When I started, I needed guidance and I could not find it anywhere where it was all compiled. Hence, I got the opportunity to create one for all the cyclists. I started off with my research. I viewed many video resources to know about the health and medical advantages cycling has. I read through many websites to know about which cycle has what capabilities and which one is better suited. I spoke with a professional cyclist and got insights from him about all my topics. I then started with researching for different softwares to make my book on. Then within the time provided, I completed my final book on Google Docs. It has all my topics as decided previously in a proper format and order. I am very happy that I could write such a book for all the people who need guidance. As someone who loves the sport and is so passionate about it, it meant a lot when I could help beginners knowing about the basics about cycling. The final book cover I made was made on Canva. I also made a QR code for the product so you can view it too. With this project, I have acquired and developed many skills. I have improved my time management skills by setting timers when I work to ensure that I complete my task within a given time limit. I have made timelines of what all work I have to complete to ensure being organized and principled. I have been taking care of my wellness, being reflective by working with music that increases my efficiency and keeps me focused during my work hours. I also improved on self management skills by having proper schedules for my work and meetings. I've increased my social and communication skills by being in touch with my mentor, by receiving regular feedback as well. I also improved my open mindedness and reflective skills. The impact of the project on the community. It will significantly help all new cyclists and enthusiasts planning to take their journey and progress one step ahead. It will also help them make sure they follow the right path and have guidance from someone practicing the sport regularly. Interesting find or challenge. I learned about many things about choosing a cycle, which I didn't know before when I bought my cycle. I found out about various benefits in each segment in a detailed manner, which would help me choose my next purchase wisely. I also learned about many various health and medical benefits which I didn't know before, which now encourage me even more to be regular with my cycling. I wish to expand the reach of my product in the near future, distributing it within stores and making sure people have access to it, choosing their cycle and gear so they have the best purchases in the best prices of the best products. My advice for the upcoming batch would be to have a strict timeline and adhere to it. Work on your product and report to ensure to finish it quickly. Be open-minded and keen to work on your feedback. Always remind yourself of your goals to make sure you are on the right path. Thank you.
My name is Rajul Gupta and I'm going to be sharing my personal project experience today. The goal of my project was to make my quarantine mentally and physically healthier by exercising and being on a healthy diet. My personal project goal stems from my passion for sports. Since I was young, I have been enthusiastic about sports, but due to pandemics and lockdowns, I gained a lot of weight as I was not exercising at all. It began to affect me mentally as I was unhappy about it. This inspired me to grind and lose all the weight I had put on and work on my holistic health as well. I also formed an inquiry question for my personal project. How does both physical and mental health contribute in achieving a healthy lifestyle? This helps me understand the value of the goal that I have set for myself. I selected my global context that connected very well with my personal project, identities, and relationships. SDG for my personal project is the SDG number 3, which is good health and well being. Ensure healthy lives to promote well being for all ages. This SDG, according to me, is most relatable to my personal project. The ideal skills that I have developed during my personal project are reflective skills, self management, and researching skills. I think that I have developed my reflective skills as in the start I was in denial that I was not beefing up at all. But suddenly one day I started to reflect on my actions and realize how I was wrong. I also think that I have developed self management skills as I was not organized in the start of my project, but once I started prioritizing my deadlines, I started to manage my time better. Moreover, I have also developed researching skills as my personal project requires me to research about appropriate exercises and a balanced diet, how the calories play effect and which part does the exercise help in losing fat. Also, I have developed communication skills as in my product it required me to share my journey through various blogs. My product is a reflection of my fitness journey captured in various blogs. I have recorded my journey from eating junk food to opting for healthy food. This was paired with my fitness regime I was following to ensure 100% results to achieve my goal. Let me conclude by saying that my personal project journey did not just enhance my subject's knowledge and develop my ideal skills, but also helped me develop learner profile attributes which are principled, balanced, and inquire. Thank you all so much for listening to my process.
For my personal project, I challenged myself with something that I'd always wanted to do from a young age. As a small child, I was always fascinated by my mom's sewing machine, as she used it to turn raw fabrics into beautiful dresses. This time, I decided to try out my mom's sewing machine and make a creation of my own, which was a sustainable and cost effective summer dress. My habit of reading magazines inspired me to explore about sustainable fashion, as the environment was a prominent topic in many of the magazines I read. I started off my project by brainstorming topics that interested me and things that I was passionate about. After that, I set a goal and a relevant inquiry question as it helped guide me in completing my product. My project had three main objectives, which were acquiring a new skill, sustainability, and cost effectiveness. Going to a branded store and splurging on an expensive yet simple and casual dress had always been an easier option, even though I knew that the dress could easily be a DIY. I could use this unique opportunity to learn a new skill that would not only help me spend money wisely, but could be also taken to another level with my creative flair. Throughout the project, I explored different sustainable brands such as Reprieve that was made out of recycled plastic bottles. I inquired about sustainable fashion in an interview with an expert, which was a highly interesting and fruitful discussion. After researching about eco-friendly brands, I decided to incorporate a fabric from the Better Cotton Initiative as the main fabric of my dress. I spent 2 to 3 months practicing on the sewing machine, and then I started stitching the dress. Throughout the project, I used to jot down my reflections and important notes on an online notepad. Here are a few snapshots of my notes along with a few pictures of my pattern making and stitching process. Finally, this was how my product turned out. I styled the dress as per a winter and summer look to display the ways we can be more mindful of our garments and decrease our carbon footprint. This is a reflection of my project wherein I became more sensitive about global issues like climate change and the negative impacts of fast fashion. I was also able to acquire an important life skill, which was a value addition to my personal self. Overall, the project greatly expanded my knowledge about the topic and helped me develop the following ATL skills and IB learner profiles. You will find a QR code at the top left corner of this poster. Overall, this project revolved around the global context of personal and cultural expression, which is an inquiry into the ways in which we reflect on, extend, and enjoy our creativity. It is an overall appreciation of aesthetics. This clearly matched with my project because I displayed dedication and consistency when practicing on my sewing machine and utilized my artistry skills to design an entire dress as per my taste, style, and budget. The project, after all, encouraged me to tread upon the extensions of artistry, craft, and creation. Lastly, an advice I would give for the future batch would be to choose something that you're really passionate about and work in an organized manner.